All right, then let's dive right in. We'll start by just saying that although this checklist can work for any author at any level that they are at, I'm going to focus this course especially towards authors that are just starting out. Perhaps they don't have the same following or the same foundation as a author that already has built their brand. So how can you do when you're just starting out? As well as, but you can use it at any level that you are. This is what the checklist looks like. And if you notice here, it says a 1 month prep. I do recommend that when you set the pre-order that your book is ready so that you're not scrambling to do the checklist while finishing writing your book, or in any case, at least if your book is with the editor. Although when you get to week 2 and you have to send the ARC, for your ARC team, you have the advanced readers copy, you will want your manuscript to be ready. So I would recommend that as soon as your manuscript is ready, you start the book launch checklist at that point. I put this together based on PAs that I've worked with and also other authors I've worked with. And I kind of build a book checklist that works for me for my launch. So, and it has worked very well for all of my launches. And as you can see, it's the way it's breaking up. It's week 1, week 2, week 3, week 4, so that it breaks up into sections, into weeks, so that it's not overwhelming. You don't feel like you have to do all of this in one sitting. You can break it up and just tackle one thing on the list at a time. But I will be walking you through each of these and how you can go about doing them. I will not go into the tutorials of how to sign up for some of these places, but I will let you know exactly where on that software website you need to be in order to check it off the list. So what will we learn on this course? I'm going to walk you through each of those tasks. You're going to learn why you should use them, how you should use them, and also when it's most effective to complete them. But first, let's talk a little bit about why is it that you even need a book launch? Why can't you just hit publish and then start doing everything? Simply put, as an unspoken rule, it takes a reader about three or more times of seeing your book cover or your product in order for them to even consider buying it. So if you want them to purchase the week of your launch, they will have had to see it several times before then. So if you would also have to include a call to action when you do show it to them in case they want to purchase your product or purchase your book right when they see it, or the second time, or the third time, or the fourth time. If you don't have anywhere to send them because the book is not out yet, then it's really a waste of advertisement. So you do want, when you start showing it to them, some sort of call to action so that they can act on it. And then on the week of the launch, hopefully that's when they will buy your book. Which is why I also recommend the pre-order to have a month in advance, so it gives you enough time to have all of these things set. So who is this course for? The book launch checklist can be used for both self-published and traditionally published authors. The only difference is that not all tasks will be done by the author if they have a publisher or an agent. So the publisher will end up doing a lot of those, for example, setting up the pre-order and handling everything with the Amazon categories and so forth. You can still use this list. You just have to cross out the things that you won't be doing and then just check the things that you will be responsible for. Now, a misconception a lot of authors have when they're looking for an agent or a publishing company to be traditionally published, they think that they are going to handle everything. The publishing company will handle everything, and that's not true. The author is actually responsible for most of the marketing regardless. So let's talk about a few other things you need to know before we begin. And the main thing you need to know, as it is the case with every craft course that you probably take, none of it is a fast rule. You take what works for you and you apply it to your audience, you apply it to your brand. In this case, this list I made works for my needs, for my launches, and the way also my brain works. I prefer to have everything scheduled ahead of time so I'm not scrambling to do it all during launch, because launch can be stressful because of the excitement of the book being out. So I like to schedule everything ahead of time, have everything already set ahead of time. I didn't used to, but I worked with a few authors and PAs, and I saw the wisdom in it, and it really does work well so that you're not scrambling the week of the launch. Now, you can do this again at any level of your career that you are now, but you also can do this if you don't have any followers, and I will show you how you can also go about doing that. So this is how I break it up. So this is week 1, week 2, week 3, and then week 4. And I'm going to walk you through each of these. And we're going to start with the pre-order. Okay, setting up the pre-order. It's actually very simple if you haven't done it yet. You can go to KDP. If you're self-publishing, you can go to KDP, have your account set up and everything. You go to the bookshelf. Here's the book, right? Let's say that I would come here and create a new book. And then you will open it up. And this is what it would look like. My Ex and His List of Man, the book title will be here. The series name and number will be here. Author name will be here. Your book description will be here. Although if you don't have a book description, you can just put a placeholder, maybe a tagline, or, this book will be coming soon. First installment of the Trouble in Love series coming soon, and so forth. Here is I own the copyright, so you do. Here, the keywords, you can leave it blank. You can leave it empty because we will actually do this later. I have it filled out here because I already published this book, but you can leave this one blank. The categories, you don't really need to rack your brain thinking of the categories, although it's necessary. Just pick the closest 2 that you can think of, because this is going to change later anyway. The pre-order, I already published this book, like I said, but if you want, this is where the pre-order is set. You set the date for a month or 2 if you want to give yourself some time. Put it a month or 2 in advance, and then at this point you will save and go to the next one. And then here you're going to upload your formatted book. Either you format it by yourself or you have someone do it for you. This is where you will upload. You will upload your book cover here, and then you can launch a previewer to actually see what it would look like all together. Also see if all the links in the back matter are working. In Amazon, you don't need an ISBN for the Kindle ebooks, so you don't need to put anything there. Although you could if you want. Here's where you will enroll it in Kindle Unlimited if you want to enroll it in Kindle Unlimited. It doesn't have an option now because it's already enrolled, but this is where you would put it. Then you would pick 70%, and then you would put your book price here, and then the book price will change, and you will see what your royalties will be, along with what your royalties will be in every other Amazon in different countries. And then here you would have published pre-order, right? Here it says Kindle book because it's already published, but you would put published pre-order, and then they will eventually send you a pre-order link to your email once it's done. Okay, so that's pretty self-explanatory if you just follow their system here. So that's how you would set up the pre-order. Now, if you want your book to be wide, you would go to draft to digital. Well, you can do it in different ways, but a lot of authors use this formatting. And you would, I'm not going to go into their website just for the sake of time, but this is what it would look like. I don't have my romantic comedies in there, but I do have my fantasy, and it's Anomalous Rogues. You would put the title here, the series, the number, the author name. This is where the keywords would go under. You don't have to put the keywords, or if you do, you can put any keywords you can think of because you can change it later. And then same thing with your categories. Just pick the closest thing you can think of, and then you can change it later, because we will focus on how to get these, or the best one of these, at the end. This is pretty much what it would look like, right? In these categories, your book will show up. So very good. So the next part is format a sample of your new release. Now, this is mostly for the authors that are starting out, because they may not have a reader magnet or a previous book that they can advertise to gain newsletter subscribers. So in this case, if you're just starting out, this is something you would do. If you're not starting out and you have a reader magnet, you probably just use the reader magnet for the next step. But then if you don't, format a sample of your new release. A free way to do it, if you don't have Vellum or another software that will format it for you, you can go to reedsy.com and you can, reedsy.com, and then you can go to my books, and then here you can just create a new book. You put the title of the book here. This may not be your original formatting, of course, but then you create, and then you can write. And then here you're just going to copy and paste pretty much the first 3 or 5 chapters. And then there's a way to here, export book right here. And then you have your just a sample of your book that way, in a free way. Personally, I use Atticus, which is what I use for my formattings and things. So if you notice here, I have 2 My Excellent List of Demands. So I'll go ahead and click on this one. This one is the one I did for my sample. If you notice, I have only 5 chapters. And at the end of my 5th chapter, I have this here, want to continue reading. The full book is now available on Amazon. Click here to get your copy. And then they'll click, and then they'll be taken to the Amazon page where they can purchase the book. Right, so this would be the sample, and then I just click export, and then it'll export down here, export PDF. I had already done it, it's right here. So then I have my sample. So it's very simple. After you get the sample, we are going to join, or in this case, create promos with the sample. So why are we doing this? We are doing this because we want to get newsletter subscribers before the launch, and preferably subscribers that are already waiting for this particular book, right? So what you would do is first you will add your book to BookFunnel, which means you would go to books and then you would add a book, right? And then you would put the information down. This is what the book title is. It's important you put sample here because then they will know that it's a sample. You'll put the series name, all the information, Amazon ISN or ASIN. You can get that from the product detail here on Amazon. That's where you would get that information. And anyway, just fill out the book tagline, anything you want the readers to hook them into downloading your sample. And then once you're done, you save and you close. And you're going to upload the cover here, and you're going to drag and drop the sample into here. And then once that's ready, you're going to go to group promos, which is here, and I already have a tab open for that. Right, you go to group promos under, in this case, romance, and I usually look for everything that's before my launch date, and make sure that it's newsletter. It's not Amazon or sales, but it's newsletter. You can filter it that way so that it only comes up like this. And then go one by one and look at the ones that will fit for your sample. So for example, if I go here, pre-order previews, right? So if I have a pre-order, this one is talking about all of the pre-orders that will be coming out in July or August and so forth, right? So there, my book is there because I already added to it. But let's look at one I haven't added. So let's say it's Steamy Summer Reads or romance books all the way. In this one, for example, it says no sample. So in this case, I wouldn't be able to add that one. My book is already on this one. I already went through them. If you notice, the ones highlighted are also the ones that I'm already in there. But you would have to go through them and then look at, let me see. Okay, so this one, for example, December free Steamy Reads. This is December. I won't add to this one, but you would want to go through it and look at one where it says July or August, right, before or during your release, and then look here. It says open to all books, including samples and excerpts. So you will put this one in. You also can preview page to see what kinds of books are in here, if you even want to add your book. If it's a group that the covers are not professional looking, I try to avoid. But this one looks like really nice covers and a really nice group. So in that case, you would go here and then you would pick and make sure that you pick the sample, not the arc, the sample, right? And then you would pick a date that is best for you that you're going to, excuse me, that you're going to share on your newsletter, right? And then join promo, and then you'll be accepted. I mean, read carefully what it is that they're asking of you, and if your book applies as well. But anyway, what this is going to do is going to have people sign up to read your sample. You will get their email, and then you'll be able to update them and send them teasers on the progress of the launch, right? Okay, so that's what you would do. In the event that you do not find a group that fits, you could always go up here and create your own promo and then invite people into your group, your promo. And you can actually be very specific, like romantic comedies only, instead of just all romance, right? And then you really get more of a niche of your readers and your authors to help you out, okay? Now, if you have a reader magnet that will connect to the book, the next book that you're writing, and it's either the same series or the same style, you will probably want to add those into the group here, find groups for those. And because it's a reader magnet, it's not going to be a sample. So in that case, you would find more groups that will allow as well. Okay. And then at the end of that reader magnet, you can link to your new release to make sure that you're bridging them to your new release. Okay, so on week 2, so this is all week 1, just setting up the pre-order and setting up the promos. The week 2, you're setting up a newsletter. I have used MailerLite, MailChimp, Kit, and multiple of other subscriptions. They were getting really expensive. A friend showed me SendFox, and I've been using them ever since. What I like about them, especially for starting off, is that it's a one-time payment, so it's not a subscription, and then you can expand your list as you grow. I think it's like $10 per every 1,000 subscribers that you get. Now, AppSumo has a deal of $49, and you get a lifetime access, unlimited email sends for 5,000 subscribers, and it's not a subscription; it's a one-time payment, so $49. So if you're starting out, this is probably what you would like to start off with, and that would be you setting up your newsletter. The next one would be writing and scheduling the newsletter, so you don't have to worry about it for the month or before or after the launch. And what you would do is first you would make an automated welcome email so that all the subscribers that are signing up for your sample will get this email. And then you will draft about 5 different emails. One telling them that it's coming soon. You can share a book description with them. In some cases, what I like to do is give them 2 book descriptions and ask them to help me pick one. They love engaging and having that feedback. You can send them pictures of your characters and also tell them, which, based on the sample that you read, which of these pictures do you think the main character looks like? So just have them give you feedback and things like that. Share an excerpt, the release date email, and then you can share chapter 1 or chapter 2 to get them starting to read, and then, link at the end the email. This is what SendFox would look like. And if you go to automation, which I've already done, you would get everyone that subscribed to your email by downloading your sample. You would export those emails and then you would import it here, and then they will be getting this email. Thanks for downloading my X and his list of demands from BookFunnel. I like to add the book cover so they remember. They don't always remember the title of the books that they downloaded, but most of the time they will remember the cover. I'll remind them that they downloaded a sample, and I'll let them know that it's a new release. It's on Amazon, free on Kindle Unlimited if it's there. Also, they will find a direct link at the end of the sample, or they can just click here and get the full book today. I will send them a little welcome email, welcome to my newsletter, what they can expect, how often I will be sending newsletters, and so forth and so on. A little funny graphic I like to include with all of my newsletters, so they know what they're getting used to, what they'll be getting from me. And then another automated email that I set up was to go out 48 hours after the first email. So then 48 hours later, they'll get this email. It says, have you started reading my book yet? If not, here's the first chapter to get you started. So I will send them the first chapter. And then at the end, obviously a link for them to get the full book, right? So just as a reminder. And then once they open these emails, they will be sent to my main list, which then I will be drafting ahead of time, right? Create an email. I'll be drafting ahead of time an email here about coming soon, like we said before, sharing a book description with them, sharing an excerpt, so a scene, maybe a kissing scene or something if it's romance, and then draft for the release day, and then send them, if you already send them chapter 1, maybe send them chapter 2 or things like that, right? So just drafting these emails ahead of time and then linking it to the sales page. Okay, so that's something that you would want to do ahead of time. Okay, so then after you've done that, you set up a newsletter swap for the week of release. And I used to do this on Facebook, but after I discovered Story Origin, I use Story Origin now for the swaps. And what you do is, let's say that you go to Story Origin, there is a campaign planner here, and I have already done this, and as you can see, I already have quite a few swaps for the month of August. They're all going to be sharing my ex and his list of demands. If you don't have any campaigns planned, this is where you would go. And then you would pick the day of where your newsletter is coming out, which list you're going to be using for your newsletter, and then which book you're going to be featuring, right? And then you click create, and then it's going to create all of this. After you have your campaign done, you're going to go here to newsletter swap. And I already have a ton of swaps, but if you put here, find a swap, you can put, I like to go by mailing list, so I'm not clicking on the same person all the time. It must include romance. Let's go ahead and put sweet so that it's a little more niche. The campaigns after August. So I want only campaigns after August 1st for them to show me. If you are wide or you're on Amazon, you can describe that here too. So then you go through, you can see how big their lists are. You can see their open rates, the click rates of their list, right? This is all information that they make it public for you. And as you're going through it, you can, let's say you pick this one, right? And you look and they have, okay, they have August 5th. But you also can see their past campaigns. So this person, you know, they send it regularly and they don't send a lot of it. So they're pretty consistent. So let's say I want it on the 5th or the 12th. So let's say it's during my week of my release, right? You can just click exchange book, right? You're clicking her book. This is the one you're going to be sharing with your readers. You want her to share yours. This one, this is your list that you're going to be sending to. And then when are you going to send her book? Perhaps you're going to send it on November 3rd, or you're going to send it on August 4th. So she's going to send it on August 5th. You're going to send it on August 4th, and then you click send swap request. Okay, and then she will be right down here, pending approval. So she has to, in this case, that author will have to approve before getting on my list. So these three already approved, right? And this is what they're going to be sharing. My action is listed demands. So she's going to be sharing that on August 8th. She's going to be sharing August 1st, and then she's going to be sharing August 6th. So everything on the first week of August to make sure that it boosts as well, along with my launch, right? I don't necessarily have to send it in August. As you can see, my dates is, well, this one in particular, I'm going to be sending it August 4th. But if I go back to my campaign and I go down here to, let's say, September 15, right? I'm going to be sending these on September 15, but they are going to be sending mine August 10, August 13. This one is September 9. But yeah, so you just have to make sure that you plan around your release, and then also make sure that you're not sending to like 10 people in one shot, because you're not really doing them justice, right? You want to be mindful of just sending a few. I don't send any more than 5. That's because I have a pretty big list. Okay, so now we are going to add your books to Author Central, BookBub, and Goodreads. Okay, so we're going to go to Author Central. You would have to sign up for Author Central. It's free. I mean, it's on Amazon. If you have a KDP account, it's easy to link that. You're going to go to books. If you don't see a pre-order book on your list, what you will do is go to here, the bottom, add a book, and then type the book's name. And then it will show up here, and then you're just going to add. It says added, obviously, because it's already there, but then you would go and add, right? So then to BookBub, you would end up having your profile, everything set, and then down here, you go to Partner Dashboard. When you go to Partner Dashboard, you go to My Books, and then if you don't see it on the list, I mean, it's here, but if you don't see it, you put Add Books, and then My Apps, and then you'll see it will come up, and then you just click Add, and then it will be added to your BookBub. Now, with Goodreads, you just have to go to their contact page, And then on their contact page, just put book records, editing or editing. You can talk to a librarian, right? Please provide librarians as many details as possible. Or you can just send them a message here. You would put what device you're using, you put that you are the author, you put your email, and then add my book. And then what you will send to them is the book title, your author name, your ISN number, which again, we talked about where you would get it, right, in the Amazon author product page. And then to make it easier, you could just send them a link to the Amazon book as well. So they can know exactly what book, the pre-order link, what book they need to add to Goodreads. And this is all if it's not already there, right? If it's already there, you wouldn't have to do any of these things. So you would check. So once you've done all of that, it should take about a day for everything to be uploaded. And then once that's done, you will send the completed manuscript, the advanced reader's copy to your ARC team. Now, if you don't have an ARC team, that's okay. You can, there are websites that you can go and ask for reviews for ARC readers. So one example, one way is if you go to, or one option I should say, if you go to thewritetips.com and you go to free author services, and down here where it says book review, it's a free book review, so you can just click there and you just have to put your name, your email, and on the message, all you have to do is give them the book funnel link so they can give it to their readers, the advanced reader's copy. And I believe they have over 300 people on their review team, although to be honest, only those that are going to be interested in your blurb or in your book will download. So not the entire book club, their book club, so to speak, their ARC team or review team will be reviewing your book. You should also, so you provide them with the book funnel link and also the link of your book to Amazon, Goodreads, and Book Club so that they can let the readers know where to leave the review. So if you don't have an ARC team already and you're looking for more reviews, this is a free way that you can go about it. So then how do you go about sending it to your ARC team if you've built one? Okay, another thing you can do with those newsletter subscribers is actually inviting them to be part of your ARC team if that's what you want to do. Now, if that's what you want to do, you will go to back to book funnel. You will go to certified mail, right? And then you will create a campaign, and the campaign name will be here. How long they have to download. So let's say that you give them 2 weeks before the link expires. And then down here, you will pick the book. It's this one here, right? Right here, you will pick the book. Make sure that you pick the ARC, not the sample, right? You would have to have uploaded the full manuscript in this case by this point. And then here, you will put manually there or copy and paste each reader's email so that they can receive the email. And then here you would type up a thank you note for them having agreed to read and review your book. Perhaps let them know if they see any typos or anything like that, please to reply to you and let you know, because this is the advanced reader's copy. It is not the final version yet. And that motivates them to send you back some feedback. And here you can add advanced readers copy so they can see that that's what they're downloading, right? Advanced readers copy, and a little bit about the book, obviously here. This is what it would look like when they download it. And then down here comes in handy because the day of launch you might be busy. So what you do ahead of time, you schedule a follow-up email the day of release. So let's say that it releases on the 3rd. That's what you're gonna, or the 4th, right? You're going to click there and then put the time, let's say 10 a.m. They're going to get a follow-up email automatically by BookFunnel saying it's time to review. And then you can make a little note here, you know, reminding them it's live on Amazon. If you already read it, please post your review. If you have not read it yet, it's fine. Life gets in the way. So it's important to let them know you're not pressuring them, but you know, you just, if you haven't reviewed it yet, that's good. That's okay. But it's also a good reminder to them to know that, hey, you know, this is the deadline. If you haven't read it yet, go ahead and do it. If you want to be specific on where they need to post their reviews, it is good to add the links of where you want them to put the reviews, because if they have to go look for it themselves, they might take a little longer. So just make it easier for them. Add the links here, which you would have already had because you added all the books to those sites, right? And then if you're ready, you click I'm ready, schedule campaign, and then the campaign will be sent. If you're not ready, you save and close, and then it will be here for when you want to finish. Now, the way it looks like, it would look something like this, and then it will show you how many people you sent it to, how many of them viewed the email, how many of them downloaded it. So in this case, 95% of my list downloaded the book. It does not mean that 95 of them will review per se, but at least you know. A neat thing too is if you notice here in the end that they didn't view or download, it could be that they just missed it. You can resend it to them and then, you know, give them another chance to download it, right? So this is how you would send it to your art team. Again, if you don't have an art team, you could either submit it to Reading Cave, or you can just talk to your author friends and see if they can send it to their art team, right? And then that way you'll be getting at least some reviews that way. Okay, so now week 3 will be creating promo graphics. I usually use Canva. I'm not going to go into Canva right now, but these are just some examples of graphics that I will make for the book. So I will make a cover reveal, a coming soon, pre-order available, new release available now, and then 5 teasers. And the reason I have this is because this would be about 10 graphics. And the reason I like to stick to 10 graphics is because most scheduling post softwares will allow for about 10 graphics to be scheduled ahead of time for free. Anything else, you would have to pay a subscription. So I stick to 10. And it's week 3 because you don't want to necessarily start sending these too early. You want them to overlap. So like the cover reveal, coming soon, pre-order available will all be before launch. And then new release will be the day of launch. Available now will be after the launch. And then the teasers would be all after the launch, right? So this is all not necessarily leading up to the launch, but overlapping it. And here's some examples of graphics that I've made. Also, this is some examples of graphics that I've made. That is too convoluted there. So Trope Thursday and with the tropes here, just be creative, coming soon, but I also put a little teaser here as well. These are also all the tropes that are in the book. And then you can use the same formatting and then just change the lettering for available now, swoon with this rom-com, start reading today, save the date, August 4th. As reviews start coming in, you can also make these graphics of reviews available now, you know, new, the day of release, something like that. Canva will even let you make a little video instead of just a picture, and I'll show you that as well on another, and how that would look. You could do little things like showing the first line of the book, or just, you know, pictures with couples and so forth and so on. So, and this is what the Instagram feed would basically look like when you put those things in, right? Yeah, so this is what the promo graphics, just make about 10 of them. If you want to make more and just duplicate them in saying different things, that's fine too. And then after you do that, on week 4, so I put a whole week just for promo graphics, because you do have to go through your book and get teasers, right? Get the lines, the little snippets and things like that. So it does take time. Week 4, post, you schedule your posts. And this is important because if you wait to schedule a post the day of, it's going to be a lot of hassle. So what I like to do, I like to use people or later, and they will post Instagram, Facebook, and Twitter. I believe they also do TikTok if you want to do a video. But people, for example, one thing I like is because they actually show you what each day is or what's going on. So like Friday the 13th, if you're a horror writer, you can use that as a post and put your book on there. National Relaxation Day, you can put a little graphic of somebody relaxing in a hammock and then put your book and make it about the National Relaxation Day. National Book Lovers Day, this is a good one. Make a graphic, so that way you're not making the same graphics over and over. This will give you idea on different graphics that you can make. A lemonade, right? Put your book next to a lemonade and do that. So I think this is actually a pretty neat thing to do. And then what it would look like, let's say with the, you would put this on Instagram, and there you go. So this is what it would look like on your Instagram and your Facebook, right? A little video of the new release. This is more eye-catching than just a picture. You can do that. You do have to copy and paste every time that you write on these, because they don't save your information. So you do have to copy and paste constantly. So I suggest you just make a file with the tagline and the blurb and the link, so that you can just copy and paste it from there. So this is one way that you can do, and it will also allow you to post 10 posts schedule ahead of time for free. So this is what I like. Very good. Now, if you are going to release your book at 99 cents, your new release, you will want to schedule promos for your new release. Now, here are some promos that are free for sign up, 99-cent promos. All the ones that are checked are free, that you can sign up your book for 99 cents, and it won't cost you to sign up with them. They also do have e-reader, Faithful Reads, right? All of those you do have to pay. You can apply for a BookBub, if you want, but all of those you have to pay in order for them to send your book. But these you don't. So now to finalize, I use Publisher Rocket. This is where you're going to need the Amazon keywords and the Amazon categories we had talked about before. This is where the keywords, right? Let's say that you left this blank. You will go to, now Publisher Rocket, you do have to pay for this, but there are other ways that you can go about finding it, but I find this the easiest way. But I just wanted to show you just how cool this thing is. So after you go into Publisher Rocket, you go into category search, and for me, I write romantic comedy. And I'll put that in there. I'll do Kindle. And then here you'll click the keywords, and I'll show you the top keywords that authors use in that category, just to give you ideas. And then you can pick out of these, whichever one of these apply for your book in particular. So it's fairly easy. They're always updating Publisher Rocket to make it easier. And so, yeah, definitely worth looking into. Well, that's about it. In summary, that is the checklist. If you would like a copy of this checklist, you can get it at my website for authors, www.thewritetips.com, or you can send me an email and I'll shoot it to you. But this is basically what the checklist looks like. If you would like the details of all of the information from this course with screenshots of everything that I showed you, plus a lot more detail that I wasn't able to put into the video, into this course, you can get my checklist, book launch checklist booklet that is also on the website, therighttips.com. In fact, I have booklets for all of the courses that I've taught so far, and they're all on the website. If you would like to check them out as well. So that's about it. Like I said, if you would like a copy of the checklist, you can get it on my email. Just shoot me an email, jcalbooks@gmail.com. I'll give it to you, or just download it directly from the website. Okay, well, I hope you've enjoyed this conference, and I hope you have a great day.